back horns hit me with something like, yeah. No. Hey baby, I'm about to be real transparent with you. I've been waiting by this door, just to have a little conversation with you. So don't think I'm creeping. I just want your name. And maybe you can slide your digits too. Cause I put a lot of work in my game. Oh yeah. So baby, role play. Baby, won't you come and role play with me? Role play, baby. I know you know me, but let's switch it up. Baby, won't you role play? You beat my nerves, and let me be your patient. And you'll be I'm gonna be your student. So let me role play. Baby, won't you come and role play with me? Role play, baby. I know you know me. Let's switch it up. Baby, won't you role play? Hey, come on. You got two hands, let me see you clap before time. Yeah. And if you got two hands, let me see you clap before time.
Test 1, 2, 1, 2.
And if you're happy, you know it, and you ain't afraid to show it 4 times. Hey, lay back home, give me something real nice right here, 4 times. So baby, role play. Baby, won't you come and role play with me? Role play, baby. I know you know me, so let's switch it up. Baby, won't you role play?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. It is a Thursday. It is right after the midweek, and this is Keith Pelzer between Sundays. And these two handsome gentlemen behind me, the one and only Darien Brister, J. Mars. We come to you live from the Convo studio on this midweek. Talk about musicians' voice stuff between Sundays, helping us from the band section to the pulpit, to the balcony, inside out. What's going on, everybody? Behind me today, these two gentlemen, we're continuing conversation, digging into some comments that we've had. If you are on your lunch break, you got a half an hour left. Put your headphones in, turn them up, comment, say what's up. We'll shout you out, shout us out, like, share, check it out, join the conversation. All right, I bring to you none other than the one and only Darien Brister. Oh, hold on. There's your mic.
No problem, man. All right, people, welcome back. Between Sundays, we're on episode 12 today. Again, we're a platform where we offer perspectives of the modern church ministry operation and the many nuances from the lens of worship arts and multimedia personnel. Man, I thought last week was really interesting, and I don't even think we really had enough time to really dig at a lot of the conversation that was brought up. I personally think, everything we brought up yesterday could be revisited. So, but here's where we want to start today. And today's going to be a lot like last week, where, we focus on some comments that we may have missed from some previous episodes. And the comment we're starting with today, man, this is probably going to be one of the spicier ones.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Here
This
we
is
go.
probably going to be one of the spicier ones.
Mm.
Now, I attempted to condense this some without taking out some of the key information and key points that was made in this comment. And this was from Rob Speaks. So I'll read this.
Yeah, you're
Probably
going to have to
need-
read it because
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I'll read this and I'll read it twice. So Rob Speaks said, here's a question, just another perspective. I agree we should all serve. Who determines in what way I serve?
Wow.
Just because I sing or play doesn't mean that's the way I want to or feel led to or have heard God tell me to serve my local church. I could vocally be John Legend, and just because I sing professionally doesn't mean I have to serve from what I do on my job. We don't ask anyone else to bring their professional skills to church. Sometimes I think we confuse they don't serve with they're not playing for free, and the two ideas aren't analogous. Last sentence. Serving doesn't denote I have to give what the church wants me to give. Serving is me giving from my heart what I feel I can benefit the collective.
There's a lot in there.
There's a lot in there.
Yeah.
There is a lot in there, and we're definitely going to have to kind of hit this piece by piece. All right, I will start, but we're really going to ping pong this around. Okay, so I'll start briefly. Pels, obviously, I want you to jump in because serve is something that you've been championing, as well as Jay. Let me start at the back end, and then I guess work my way back to the beginning. Okay. All right. The back end is where I totally agree. And so I'll read the last couple sentences that I totally agree with. It's sometimes I think we confuse they don't serve with they're not playing for free, and the two ideas aren't analogous. Serving doesn't denote I have to give what the church wants me to give. Serving is me giving from my heart what I feel can benefit the collective. And the biggest one I want to take agreement with is the serving does not denote I have to give what the church wants me to give. That's the big thing that really kind of gets let me say this word. That gets bullied around.
Good one.
Let me use that word. That gets bullied around. Because how it's normally positioned is, well, this is one of the needs of the church. And, you're skilled and gifted at it. So it just makes sense that, you should do X, Y, and Z since it's a need of the church and you're skilled and gifted at it. Is it a need of the church or is it a want of the church?
That too.
And that's just surface. But let me come up to where I take some disagreement with. The part where just because I sing or play doesn't mean that's the way I want to or feel led to or have heard God tell me to serve my local church. Now, that's three different things in one sentence. All right. In terms of the way I want to, the way I feel led to. Those aren't always lock in step. What I want, what I feel led to, and what I've heard from God. Those three aren't always lock in step.
Right.
So let me briefly hit at those three different elements. All right. What I've, in terms of have heard God tell me to serve my local church. Now, here's what I would say. I would say if we are all subscribing, if under the let's say under the governing thought of salvation, meaning we're all saved, all right, under that governing thought, if we all subscribe to that, what we're gifted in was by God's design, then I am led to conclude that what you are gifted at, or what God designed you to be gifted at, is not only for His glory, but that for His glory has to show up in the church. It has to show. I'm not telling you what church it has to show up in.
Right.
It has to show up in the church. So I do want to be careful here that when we're talking about, again, something that you are gifted at, and we all subscribe that God designed those gifts and placed it in us, I don't see how that cannot manifest itself in the church one way or another. Now, which church? Yeah, that's a different topic. That's but it has to show. It has to at least show its way in the church. And so, if you are choosing church A as the church that you are purposely becoming involved with and investing yourself in, then I would take issue there with the somehow my gift is not necessarily to serve in that church. That's the part I wouldn't be able to subscribe to, because that math for me doesn't math.
Right.
It gets inconsistent.
Exactly.
I just wanted to start there because covering the whole comment at once, that's why I said we'll kind of ping pong.
Yeah.
Pels, did you want to jump in?
Man, it's so for me it's real easy, right? This is what now I get why these prophets be like, the Lord just dropped this in my spirit. This is what hit me, and Jay, feel where I'm coming from.
Go ahead, bro.
I just thought about Enon is a great baker, right? Angel out of all of us would be the master chef, right? Darien would be an awesome DJ, right? Somebody else could be a good drink mixer. Somebody else could be a grill master. If we all gathered together at a house gathering, do we pay Keith because he's the grill master? Or does Keith grill because he's the better guy on the grill? Do we pay Darien to run the sound because he's just more fluent with the iPad and the music mix? Do we pay Tina because she sets the flowers up nice in the plates? Do we pay Enon to make the cake or something? Or do we just, our concern is, hey, we want you to bring the cake. Do you need money for the food?
Yeah.
But are we paying you to make the cake, right? So now what I'm establishing is a unity amongst saints, right? And what we are gifted in, we bring to the table, right? We come to the table. If somebody wants to get remarried or, renew their vows, well, if Keith's the preacher in the circle, then Keith does the wedding. Now you can compensate me for it, but do I actually have a charge and say my price is $500 to do it? Or do I say, okay, well, I'm the one that can do it, I do it. Now, I'm kind of going on a long stretch here. And what I'm kind of separating is, let's just say this is what I need to do as my job. There's a church for you for that.
Yeah.
But you got to go to it and you got to know that's what it is. Now, consequences of that is the give and take is you have to have before a group of people to justify we're paying you $5,000 to $1,000 a week. That has to make sense, and the math got to math. So that's when we do say, well, how are we giving you $1,000? You only show up on Sunday for 2 hours, right? Or I come to rehearsal. Yeah, but you don't write out paperwork, or you don't this, that, and the third. You don't make the calls. Sister so-and-so calls everybody, and you just show up and play songs that you already know that you don't have to practice for. That's where it starts to get complicated at.
Yeah.
So if Darien has a company that does sound, and we all come together and converge in one spot, we have to measure when it's starting to cost Darien in a sense that it's now he needs finances to make sure that we got the mic set up. Or is his serve, I'm good at this, and this is my give to the church.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all get what I'm saying? Preachers, and this is the 300-pound gorilla in the room, preachers get paid to preach sermons that they preach all week.
That's it.
Because when somebody asks me what I preached on Sunday, 9 times out of 10, I give them the whole same sermon that I got a $400 or $500 check for. Right?
Yeah.
If Beyonce was in Sam Ash music store and she like, let me hear you play, you probably play your whole praise and worship set and don't get paid a dime.
Yeah.
Right? So the question is, are we honest to say I paint as an occupation, but if the church got paint chipping off the wall, my serve is to do that?
Yeah.
Y'all see where I'm going?
I see.
It gets a little complicated because then why aren't we paying the soprano, alto, and tenors?
That's a good question. And
y'all get where I'm going?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't edge into the worship leader gets paid, but the background singers don't get no money.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep that question on board, because that's one of those topics that many people avoid.
And remember, I'm not saying this is not about to not pay.
Yeah.
Right.
It is understanding the structure of saying at the table, this is all I do. I do not work a 9 to 5. I love to play, and this is my job.
Yeah.
I need to make $50,000 and more playing the keyboard. You have to find the job that fits that.
Yeah.
You can't go to a church that can't pay out $50,000 for a musician and have faith to make them do it, and they don't have a need for it, or it's all over the place.
Absolutely. Jay, before you go, let me throw one other thing that I think bridges a lot of what Keith just mentioned. And it's in the comment. One part of the comment, Rob says, we don't ask anyone to bring their professional skills to the church. Now, for me, I think that's a flaw. I think that's a flaw. Now, this may be my personal opinion, but my personal opinion, the church should be a marketplace of resources.
Yeah.
It should be a marketplace of the professionals who are, the local gatherers, the congregants, whatever terms you want to use there. And what I've seen, at least in my lifetime, is that the church underutilizes the resources from a professional standpoint of the gatherers.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. You got gatherers that are electricians. You got gatherers that are lawyers. You got, gatherers that are, cosmeticians, whatever the case. Why is it that they are not the ones that are most frequented by the other gatherers? That I found that very interesting, because for me, that would be each local gatherer bringing their professional skills to to the church, not necessarily for free,
Right.
but again, as a pool of resources. I want to turn it to you, Jay, to hit any part of the comment you want.
All right, so let me start here. When he asked this question, my first thought is, if you are first talking about serving in a ministry, obviously, if you decided that this is the ministry you want to serve in, that means you deem them now worthy enough to be able to receive from the heart your blessing and your talent, your gift, mind you, not the anointing, but your gift alone. If you say, this is the church that I'm decided to serve in, like as you said, it kind of sends mixed signals when you're like, well, I don't know if I want to have to serve here. But if you chose this church, if you said, if you stood and gave the right hand of fellowship, that means you told the pastor, I trust you with talking to the Lord about my soul now. That is now in your hands. How is it that I'm like, now I don't know if I want to actually bring the gift that God gave me to this particular ministry because I'm a professional? So I totally get that. Because that's kind of flip-flop. Now, going on about what you were sharing about why don't we use or utilize more of who we have in the congregation, that's simple. It's always been an issue concerning our people. And it's not just in this area. It is our people, and I know Pels would understand. It's our people that will watch you do something. They will watch you work. They will watch you pour your heart into something. And they will watch you go after it. Start a business. Start a nail shop. And you'll tell everybody in the church about it. All 500 of them. You may get 2 people from that church. Why? It's not because they don't need their nails done. They'll still go to Chun-Li down the road to get their nails done. Even though they know you do nails. But it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with because it's you. And for some reason, we have this thing where it's like, okay, I want you to succeed, but not more than me. So even though I know you're a plumber, and our toilet is broke, and we know that you're going to probably charge a little less than the guy we usually get. However, if you can't do it for free, I might as well call this guy over here that don't go to my church. We are, it seeming.
Coming your way, Pels. Coming your way.
Yeah, it seems we are more focused on not supporting openly of each other. I don't know why that is. And so because of that, it sends messages when you have done everything you can do for a ministry. And mind you, this all goes to why the church won't pay and all this other stuff. It all goes to the same mindset. It's a mindset that it's just there. We will not try to support. We will not try to bend our way to your control. Seemingly control.
Listen, you know it's crazy. I hear you, Jay, right? This is where we get touchy even in this room, and it's good. So me picking up the camera doing photography, right? I've been through at least 4 churches that they have photographers at that church. Herein lies the problem. Their business they relied on and had an expectation that they wanted the people in that congregation, an instant 500 people, to support their business. Something wrong with your business if you looking at your congregation to support your business. Right?
Okay.
I ain't looking at the congregation to support nothing.
Yep.
Because I'm there to serve.
Yeah.
I want you to find me, and I'm sitting right next to you, and you found me, rather than when you come to worship, I'm like, I got a business.
Solicit.
Right? We soliciting, so we turn the church from a ministry to a marketplace. And we prey on the religious aspect of people to help our business to grow. Meanwhile, the prophet lion talk about you about to reach nations, and we mad with the people in the other pew. And it's kind of like, if you can't convince your congregation that this the best business around, then maybe that's why it ain't growing outside of that. And if it's that dope, you wouldn't have to solicit to the people in the sanctuary because they're already going to your spot. I'm not mad with the Chung Lee. I'm gonna be better than Chung Lee to the white people, the black people, the Asian people, the Puerto Rican people, and it has nothing to do with the church. And the church will know that. So I've been in places where it's like the members come up to me and say, yeah, I got a photography business. I do wedding, and here go my card. And I'm looking like, therein lies your problem. Because the way I built this, I served, and not just at my church, but I served as a person with people I connect with. I showed my value. I showed my worth. So when I ask you for it, I'm going to pay. You two guys have proven your excellency to me without trying to prove it to me. So anywhere I go, if I need you guys, I can be direct and say, Darien, I need a favor. Jay, I need a favor. Or, hey, here's a budget. Give me your number. Because you've already proven yourself. The same thing with producers when they go, oh, yo, OG, here go my track. See if you can play this for somebody and get it to. You already done lost. Because if you're looking for me to get it into the record company, then it might not be good enough for the record company to check out. Because me telling you is dope, that don't mean nothing. Because I've had major people tell me my stuff sucked. And you know what? I redid it. But here is the thing. I'm going to add this to what you said, Jay. My serving and playing, that was my practice board for my profession. So the value of Sanctuary for me was I get to try changes, bass lines, chord progressions, and everything. And because it's a ministry, y'all ain't gonna fire me if I jack it up. If I want to do a different arrangement on Hezekiah Walker's song, I will take that arrangement that I did, that everybody shouted on, go in the studio, sequence that, and throw it into a song for somebody else in my business. Y'all see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So it's more so, even though I was getting compensated, I was looking more so of the privilege and the opportunity. Singers, when you have an instant audience in praise and worship, that shows you your ability to move people, connect with people, interact with people. And if by chance you are compensated for it, good. But where's your growth outside of preying on the parishioners in your sanctuary? That place to serve is like pickup ball, and you play for a high school team. It's like the playground that you can get that hungry, sticking, fouling, hacking dude that you figure out how to dribble the ball around, so that when you get into the disciplined state of college ball and professional, you've been trained at a place that you weren't worried about the money.
Yeah.
But the place where it is money. And last thing is this. Why do we look at churches different than we look at corporations?
Say that.
Would you put your resume into a corporation that's like, we don't really have a lot of buyers? our income is very low, and you're asking for a secure job at this business. We don't have no customers. Y'all see where I'm going?
Yeah, man.
We don't have no customers, but you expecting a good salary from this spot. How you guarantee the salary? You got to show me that this company has some growth potential. And if the company has growth potential and it's already set where it can cover me, then it's interesting. If not, why are we? But we do that because we're not addressing the 300-pound gorilla in the room. We look for the congregation to build us. We get mad with the church for the lack of our growth rather than to understand that if all these doors was closed, how in the ham sandwich you want to survive? Start there.
Now, if I can piggyback off of that one. I remember about a year ago, the way I knew about Pelzer was not music. It was by his photography.
Boom.
Because of what I seen all over Facebook. And he was consistent with once a week or something, he was posting something. And even though he was capturing his wife, but the way he did it was very classy.
Yeah.
And it made me want to be like, hold up. If I want to get pictures taken, I need to go see this dude.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with music.
Yeah.
Even though I knew he could play.
Yeah.
But because this is what he was showcasing, he didn't have to. He didn't have to come. Hey, listen, I do photography. No. I already see it. For you, I already knew you played, but I would use you for audio because of what I heard. That has nothing to do with music.
Yeah.
So if I want something, if there's a need and say, hey, listen, I need to get somebody that's really good for sound. I already know the first person I'm calling. I already know the first company that I would get because of what I seen. You still have not handed me one card.
Correct.
Hey, listen, I need you to support this. Yeah, I need you to. No, it's because of what I seen.
Yeah.
When I started my meditations, I didn't have to solicit.
Yeah.
I did it outside and then I let everybody know. All right, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Simply as a courtesy. Now, if y'all support, fine. If y'all don't support, fine. It's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do because others on the outside need what you have. They need the wonderful audio. They need photography. And by your work, as Pell said, by your work, people will support.
So now I have to ask this then, Pels. And I do not ask this to be contentious at all. But I recognize what birthed this question from Rob. The thing that birthed this question is when the serve gets abused.
Oh,
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
That's the lion. That's the lion.
So the abuse, right? I can add in there that it's a certain time period in my serving with my dad in my church where it would seem like abuse, right? Because it starts to turn stressful.
Yeah.
Because I had the burden of the people in the pews. They're coming in, and everybody doesn't know what to give sometimes, other than present my body a living sacrifice. I presented it. I don't know what to do. That's 90% of your congregation is presentation. We present ourselves. We're here. Okay, now the do goes into the demand on what we want. And this is something I jumped into last week. And another thing where you have this wrestle of the proper use of the word entertainment and enrichment. That's basically a black church service. There's an expectation. I'm not talking about clown entertainment and a trampoline in the church and Apple Vision goggles. Y'all know what I just said there. But anyway, but I'm talking about and getting a haircut for a sermon. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking the enlightened, entertain like piece, meaning I want my soul to feel happy, right?
Yeah.
And so we sing praises, and the worship leader is to lead us into getting us started. It's like somebody starting on the dance floor, but everybody coming to the dance floor, right? Not watching the person dance at the wedding. No. I just happened to get out on the floor and started. Then somebody else joined in, come on and bless the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. So everybody joins in. We're helping the weak people that don't know how to let the strong bear the infirmity of the weak. But it's a full participation thing. So really, when you look at the enrichment and enlightenment piece, the pastor is required for the enrichment part. Right? Then through the words of the song, enrichment pushes. Then the enlightenment entertainment part is where our gift is, that we do culturally like good music. We like action. I'm not knocking the shouter. Some people, they need to get that breakthrough, and other people like, I'm not sitting through a bunch of people praise breaking through the whole service. Yeah. I'm not knocking either one. I can do both, right? I like that good feeling like a party. Yeah. It's the same thing at a club. We want wines and spirits. And we want good music. We want to feel good. We want to be taken to a place that's out of this world. And then we want to come home and say, I'm coming off of a high. That's what's expected. So what it takes to do that, to your point, Darien, some of us are in a body that we have that already. We have that amongst ourselves. The people that are getting paid are with a place that this is not my church, but I have extra time. For my extra time, I do want to be compensated, because you want me to come play at your church at 12 o'clock. Yeah. I have my home church. I'll come, but first step is I need gas money. Then number 2, you're taking time out of my day. Number 3, it is a job, and you have a certain amount of demands. Yeah. So therein lies the pay. We get it. The problem is when, Enon, you're right, we want the experience. So in a sense, I'm glad Enon said that. In most places, we're paying for the experience. Of course. And that's everybody's responsibility, because if we just want to come and sit in church, but we want everything like this, then we're the Met. We're a concert. Yeah. And so everybody needs to be on board in doing that, or else we're at a roadblock. And the people that survive and win is the pastor whose son is the organist, the nephew plays the drums, and the daughters sing. They're straight. Everybody else, you got to start paying that money. And then you got to keep up with the production. And now you have, your Christianity is more so corporate-anity. And when it's corporate-anity, it's like business. It goes up and down, and the stocks drop and fall. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And again, we tons of layers to this. There's tricky parts to this. Yeah. And we really haven't gotten to the kitchen yet. We're still kind of in the living room, making our way to the kitchen. Let me go here. All right. Going back to, I mentioned if we subscribe to God being the one that designs the gifts, right? If I can go back there really quickly, again, if we're talking about a church that you as the gifted individual is choosing to be a part of and invest yourself in, the other thing I would throw along with what I said earlier is that, okay, the church should be the place where we are able to exercise what we are gifted in. It should be the place where we exercise what we are gifted in. Now I can go off to a whole different room and talk about leadership and how leadership's responsibility is managing the gifted, so that it's just not people exercising their gift without any concert, without any togetherness. I could go that route. We probably have to do that another day. But it should be the place where you can exercise your gift. So if there is a tug of war there, where it's a church you say, you've invested yourself in or looking to invest yourself in, but there's a tug of war of whether or not you're going to exercise your gift. Then that's something that really needs to be, revisited, from a mental and a spiritual approach.
Yeah.
Because again, that it should be a place where you can properly exercise your gift. Now, here's where I wanted to get to, because we're making our way closer to the kitchen in terms of who determines in what way I serve. That's the kitchen. That's the question. And I think before we actually hit that question, who, we got to talk about the ugly part where there are way too many different interpretations and perspectives of serve.
That can go a lot of ways.
Yep, agreed.
We got to start there because you got one perspective that serve means not a dime, not a nan dime, never.
Yep.
That's one perspective of serve.
Pay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay.
So some there are many people who their perspective of serve is only no pay.
Right.
So if you take any pay, their perspective is you're not serving.
Right.
Agree or disagree, that's their perspective.
Right.
Wow.
That's the first monkey we got to really talk about and put out there. Then there's another perspective that says, okay, serve may be, it's not always no money. Maybe it's a reduced rate. Maybe it's a, okay, let's come together and see what we can make work. And that's where it gets fun. What we can make work. Because what we can make work, that takes two sides.
Of course.
Right.
It's not just, well, this is, what we're able to pay as a church. But we still want you to do
All of this.
what we can't pay as a church. No. That gap gotta close.
Yeah.
That's making it work.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, we gotta talk, and I'm throwing it back to you, Jay. We gotta talk about that, where what serve means and all of these different perspectives on what people see as serving as it pertains to the church.
Wow. Well, when you talk about serving, when you serve something or somebody, it usually comes out of some part of a humility somewhere.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to be something that is done from a standpoint of, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But I will honorably do this. And I think what, as you said, yeah, Eric Charles, for real, a love offer for sure. And as Ian said, yeah, serve is defined as performing duties of services for another person or organization to provide. So every service that you provide, now you're talking about, well, how a heart issue now. You're talking about like, okay, do you want to charge? Or are you going to do it for free? And how long is it going to be for free? And what are the expectations, like you said?
Yeah.
Because it is two sides.
Yeah.
And as you said, I believe as well that the question came from an abuse of serving from one side.
Yes.
Because expectations were something on one that was not on the other, and somebody got the short end of the stick.
Yep.
And now it made serving a chore. And now when it becomes a chore, it weighs on you. Because now you're taking from my heart and turning it into a job.
Yeah.
Which you don't want to compensate for now. And now what I have given freely, I now want to say, hey, listen, I'm not going to charge you what I usually charge you, but I am going to charge you now because the way my heart was set up at the beginning, because of the expectations that you have now set, which was more likely different from the beginning, which you wouldn't have agreed in the first place if it wasn't feasible for you. So now that these situations in terms have changed, I now don't want to serve out of humility anymore. So are you really serving? Are you, because now you're doing a job.
Can you, in Pels, I'm real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know you. So, can you, this is what I heard from you.
Yeah.
All right. Because you talked a lot about the heart. But can you, is it still service if there is a demand and expectation?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you breaking down the word serve, we use it in a biblical perspective differently than the world uses it.
Yeah.
Because waiters serve and they get paid for it.
Correct.
They may not get paid that much, but they still get something. But when we say serve biblically, it usually denotes free.
Pels.
Yeah, you know what? So Enon says serve is defined as performing duties or services for another person or organization to provide. I mean, again, this gets like interesting because once we establish, and I'm gonna just reset this, it's not about taking money out of people's pockets, but it's recalibrating to understand from the whole praise and worship to band corner.
Yeah.
If you just take a Bible, you can eliminate the four walls of church as we know it.
Yeah.
Hear what I just said. Unless you want to take a Jewish mindset and be Acts chapter 3 and they was going into the temple, the man outside the gate beautiful, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying, y'all, you if you recalibrate and say, boom, when I do photography, I look at the fact that if it's 500 people in the room, there's 500 phones in the room. What do I have to offer that you're willing to pay me for that you can't get with your own phone? By the time I finish my pictures in less than 8 hours, everybody has seen the dress already.
Yeah.
The difference is the way I am going to present that dress. That even the person that posted the dress, they want to post my picture of the dress because I've added an expertise to it.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room is serving as a photographer at any event for free. They're posting for free. The person that walks in there and wants to get paid is the person that has invested in the cameras, invested in the time, is going to take time after that, is going to take time forward, and they're willing to convince you that the next time there's a gathering, you're going to pay me up front because you want what I am going to offer.
Yeah.
So in a sense, right, show me your worth already. What is the credibility outside of these four walls that you have that value? And if you're only relying on the people in the sanctuary to understand your worth and your value, whatever, we have missed this area of the serve part. So think about it. The serve actually gets you what most people are looking for. When you have a track record of that particular serve, none of that serve says, I'm trying to do this for free. Right?
Yeah.
But it's even a plan that your gift will make room for you type X eisegetically saying. It's okay, Darien, I'm just harping on your wife here. She bakes. It's kind of like throw the cupcakes on the table because everybody's got a prom, they got birthdays, this, that, and the third. We get cupcakes maybe for free at church, but then to your point, Jay, if the pastor demands and says, hey, I want cupcakes for every Bible study, now Enon's like, well, if you're demanding 30 cupcakes and now you got 80
Right.
people coming to Bible study.
Right.
You know, by the time I get off work and bake and do this, that, and the
Yep.
third, you know, grocery price done went up, Reverend. Now, the trustees and everybody, well, how much is it going to cost to do that? Now we talking business, and it's in her heart to say, no, just give me the money for the sugar and this, that, and third. I'm going to tithe my time, but y'all going to pay for the supplies for this.
Yeah.
That's where transactions come into place. And then it's understood by everybody. So there ain't nobody hating. Ain't nobody hating. And then, so now you are getting compensated. Same way with musicians. If I started a church and said, I'm doing Bible studies, we're going to open up with a song, and Darien and Jay is there, and they like, yo, you want me to play?
Yeah.
I mean, because y'all spirit ain't going to let y'all just sit there because I don't have no money to pay y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all going to be like, bro, I'll open up with a song.
Yeah.
Enon going to sing because she going to make sure that Tina ain't the worship leader because Tina can't sing. So she going to say, I got you, bro. So she's going to sing. Now, we start getting all these people in there. We take up offering to pay the
Tina,
rent.
that wasn't in our morning meeting.
And the rent is only $500 a week or $2,000 a month,
Right.
but we pulling in $6,000. Now we like, Jay, thank you for coming in your time. Darien, thank you. You know, Jay's like, I got to get a part-time job. How much you trying to make, Jay? I got to bring in an extra $250 a week. You know what? Hey, we have a meeting. Everybody, he's worthy of his time because Jay's the man out there. Darien's the man. He does this decibel group for a business. So now we're going to compensate him. We're on the table making it understood.
Yeah.
And these are the cases where the pastors, oh God, y'all can feel me on this. By default, you don't just say we got to take care of the pastor and just throw all the money out to the pastor.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got royalty checks. I'm good. I got something else going on.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. How can we better allocate these funds?
There you go. And
Oh, the people can't hear it. Darien, I'm going to give it back over to you.
Yeah.
Oh, the people want to see it online, but they can't really hear the mix. Well, Darien says, you have to have a better mix. Well, that costs money. Well, we need somebody to run it. We don't have anybody in the church that's gifted to do that. But I know a guy.
yeah.
Wow.
He need $150 an hour. That's why you paying him. But if somebody internally is there for Bible study, and by default, I just move these faders and set a button, y'all don't have to pay me for that.
Yeah.
But see, greedy people will go, well, see, over at that church that Jay play at, they pay that guy $350. Well, they also pay preachers $50,000 to preach the same daggone sermon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I digress.
So let me do this, because Pels, I want to bridge the point that you've been making most of this morning, and something you just brought up, Jay. Okay, because we're trying to identify, I guess, a good perspective of serve. Okay, and this is what I would offer as it pertains to our conversation. All right. Serve would be from the person who has been accredited professional outside of the church. And then they decide,
Boy, you stirring it up.
they decide
Yes.
to take what they have done the work to be accredited outside the church and use it in the church.
Yes.
And watch this, at less than the going rate.
So let me
Now,
ask you this.
maybe that is free.
Okay.
Maybe that is free. Maybe that is a divine discount, as Pell said about a month ago. But I think that's a good place to section it off, because if you have not, what you do has not been accredited outside the church in any way, shape, or form, then when you attempt to bring it in the church to serve, is it beneficial?
Well, let me ask you a question, and this is a real serious question. If you're getting compensated, is it really serving? And I ask that because if for any reason you could not perform your duty of serving, but were still present, and would they still pay or compensate or love offering, even though you are unable to perform that which you are doing, but yet you're present though. But for whatever reason, you hurt your hand, your foot, just got your tooth pulled.
Yep.
For whatever reason, but because it's from the heart, and you and the specific ministry have an understanding that you are serving, but you're compensated. Is it really serving? Because now that you cannot, for one Sunday or Saturday, perform, are they still expected to compensate, and vice versa? Like, is that really serving from the heart?
Loaded question. Particularly when it becomes loaded whenever we take a bowl, and in the same bowl or cup lies serve and expectation. That's an interesting mixture. That's a very interesting mixture. On the surface, the service that you give, is it something that has any resonation? What I mean by it, does it have any resonation? And we talked about this in previous episodes, going back to when Henry was with us. Okay, is part of your serve something that only shows up when you're able to perform it, or does it have some resonation where the culture you bring, let's say the atmosphere, some people you can sit in one person's rehearsal and sit in a different person's rehearsal, and in both rehearsals the same thing got achieved in terms of the amount of songs, but they were two totally different rehearsals.
Of course, right.
Why? Atmosphere. Atmosphere. But things like that, they are not only organic, they are viral. So they start to get a hold of people. And then now it's like, okay, because we're attracted to how it's done, they try to replicate it. So that's what the surface is. Your serve, does it have any resonation?
Look, so mom resets this again, and it makes all the sense in the world. Isn't it interesting when you serving when it comes to church, yet when we serve at work, there's no question there must be compensation. What's the difference?
Come on, Ma.
See,
Wow.
Again, I'm gonna sound like the broken record. Pastor Damon Richardson put up he's not even a pastor. He stirred the pot in talking about
Called to preach.
I think it's a great discussion, and
sir.
I don't have a side yet.
Yes, sir.
Without thinking it through, but I'm like, I like what he does because I do this often. People get mad when you say, if you were to say, show me in the Bible where we're supposed to wear white gloves for communion, and or we're supposed to have communion on first Sunday. There are some people that get mad and they go, it's like, calm down. Calm down.
They'll get mad.
Calm down real quick. I didn't say don't do it. I didn't even say don't march around to the table. If y'all want to march, but don't tell me Joshua. Don't give me Joshua and then take from Joshua and place it in the New Testament and place it as church service. Do not give me a praise break off of Acts chapter 2 without an interpreter. Hello, somebody.
Hello.
Okay. I'm trying to work this stuff out here. People get mad when you recalibrate and just say, I know what you want, and that's okay. I'm not even challenging that. But if you have the problem, or you notice that there's a Buster Fields put up something today. I looked at it 2 hours ago about congregations and falling apart.
Yep.
I stand to say, and I'm gonna say this boldly, it's just Keith Pell's perspective. It's not common. It's not I'm the only one thinking it, but we have to be honest and say we do not feel congregation as everybody's responsibility. The people in the pews have become customers. And when they're customers, the customer is always right. The pastor has the obligation now, unbeknownst to himself or herself, they now have the pressure of satisfying the customers, not the parishioners, the customers. And so they feel the pressure. And this is why you got some churches. They will beg for a musician and they'll pay the number and create the monster or continue and feed the monsters that don't care nothing about the people of God. All they need is their paycheck, and they know how to play chords. They know how to play the song that you want. They know how to give you the click track at 100 BPMs that you want. They know how to tune the preacher up that you want them to sound like that. And many times we're missing the essence of church. We've gotten away from it. Once we recalibrate and say the word is the main thing that matters first. First. Because once we pay for that 7-day cruise, we're not trying to take a praise break.
Oh boy.
Oh, help me, Holy Ghost.
Right.
We're not trying to get high in the spirit when the drinks are free, all inclusive. Talk to me, somebody.
Come on.
The church can wait, and I'll get my praise break by the grace of God when he gets me back from the 7-day cruise. Then I want to be drenched in the spirit and knocked out in the Holy Ghost and start speaking in tongues. Help me, somebody. So the thing is, when you think about congregation, I'm looking for a church where everybody that calls themselves a member and or serve, whether compensated or not, gives a two hoots about what's going on in that household of faith. When COVID hits, when it hit, every daggone musician should have been that want to be producers should have been throwing the pastor tracks. Should have been giving them tracks. I got a 2-track for just like this track you hear playing ironically right now. Darien gave that to me. So now if anybody says I need a producer that can do, I know this guy can do it. He gave me this for free. So my whole thing is I want to produce. You that stingy?
Say that.
Are you that stingy? Oh, I'm trying. Do y'all need a worship leader? Where are you singing at if nobody's paying you to sing? Have you invested in your own laptop and cut your own tracks and put your own album together with free advertisement on Instagram? Because when you go to the record company and you try to get a record deal, they're going to your Instagram. And when they see that your friends don't think that you dope, they don't think you dope neither. Oh, but what we have, the church supposed to like my album. Girl, boy, bye. Sorry. So it really has to go into where's the collective of people that you care that much. There's a church in Philly, I'm going to keep it 100% because that's my people's. That organ got broken keys like teeth missing. If I'm the minister of music there, I am pissed every Sunday until we get this fixed. I'm going to the trustee board and say, what do we need to get a full set of teeth on this organ?
That's right.
Y'all hear what I'm saying? Because here it is, Enoch, because my serve, even if you paying me for it, I need the stuff to be right so I can serve to my best capacity. If I'm a worship leader and the mics suck at the church, I care that much about that ministry. Hey, y'all, what do we have to do to get better speakers and monitors? That's when you care about the church. How are you going to urinate in the bathroom and it stinks and it sucks? You should have a complaint, a passion, but a solution to this is our problem. If you have somebody handicapped and no ramp, this is our problem. Right. If we are rhythmatic people and the musicians ain't good, this is our problem. Not the pastor's problem to fix the corporate problems of the church. It's a unified thing. So that's just my rant, y'all. My whole rant is the convolutedness of serve is we're too scared to just say, I need to make money off of y'all Negroes. Where are the people that are that strong and God supplies all your needs that when it comes to Sunday, all you got is a serve in you? Do you trust God that much that you present your body a living sacrifice and the Lord will make room for you?
Yeah.
And the demand will make sense. We have a ministry that got 10,000 people. Of course you're going to get a nice check. We got it. We have it. And the demand, as Darien said, is there that I need this song, that song, because we do have a production going on. So I need these things done. I need the camera here. I need the camera there. So I need you to set up a team. And then those people on the team are not invested in our church. So we're contracting them. But because you're a member, we are negotiating with you and we're compensating you to manage because the person over the people that's contracted belongs to us and has our best interests.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me revisit real quick.
Go ahead.
And then you can feel free to reapproach this. But to your question, and Pels brought up that post. I saw it. I started reading it. Very thought-provoking post in regards to the whole phrase of called to preach. And the argument, short version, the argument was that preaching is not an office. It's a function of an office. That's the argument if you look at the gentleman's post. All right. And so I'm with Pels. I don't know where I lay there, but I use that to come back to what you asked, Jay, and make a very similar argument that when we talk about unpaid, for me, that is volunteer.
Right.
But volunteer is a function of serve, not the exact same.
I like that.
The volunteer, there's rare cases I've seen where volunteers are compensated financially.
Right.
Hence the term.
Right.
But now I think we have tried to marry serve and volunteer, where again, for me, volunteer is a function of serve, but not the exact equal.
That's good.
Of serve.
That's good. And you know what? I like that because that kind of breaks the two. So you know exactly what you're doing. So it's a difference when somebody says, I serve at my church and then I volunteer.
Yes, sir.
At my church. Now we have a clear line of expectations.
There you go.
Because serve now that we have that line, serve doesn't always have to mean non-compensated.
Correct. And it doesn't always have to mean compensated.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So going back to the
I like it. So E9, I hear you. So context wise, right? This is the part where a wise person will bring this scripture up, right? Because I've seen this come at me before, and this makes sense. This is basically saying if somebody's in need and they need to eat. I've had musicians play for me that they needed that $300 every Sunday to pay the car note, right? So it's like there's a piece of, I like that you bring this up, Enon. There's a piece of that it's like, whether you play or not, I'm gonna hook you up with this, right? Because I'm not gonna let you lose your car. I'm not gonna let you get put out in the street. So I'm gonna get that to you. What I'm actually doing there is taking away the you playing just so you get that to survive, at more than you know that we care enough that you survive.
Exactly.
And that comes from recognize we got your back, right? But that comes from community. So in a sense, it's not one of those things where people are arguing the fact that like, well, why y'all paying the musician money? All he do. I mean, I've had people say, Pastor, you play better than a musician, so why are we paying them? And you had to play the songs because the person we're paying $300 didn't know how to play the hymns. And you had to come off the pulpit and play the hymns. We should give you the check. And I'm just like, nah, because the preaching was more concerned than me. But get them that full amount. I had musicians looking at me like, because I had to play half of the service.
Yeah.
Because the choir started singing stuff they don't know. And they looking like, I'm not docking your pay for that. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm good with this. This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. So if by chance you can get compensated for, it's like, go. Remember, people, I'm just talking about the mindset on it.
Yeah.
That when our thinking gets better, we're not handicapped or crutched to. I wake up on Sunday morning to work.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I just doing there.
Yes, sir.
Many of us don't even get up to serve on Sunday. We call it serve, but we get up to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else through the week, we trying to be producers. We trying to be artists. Hello, somebody.
Yep.
We trying to get our business off the ground through the week, and we ain't get no money. And church is all we got in order to eat. And we ain't even giving, whether we believe in tithing or not, we ain't putting in no offering, and we ain't tithing nothing. We taking everything.
Yeah.
Like y'all need me. That's why I said I'm telling y'all, the apocalyptic thing that's going to happen in these congregations, and when people wise up and recalibrate and basically say, we need the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And once we start from there, then we'll realize we don't have no shouters in here. So why are we paying a band to give us a click track and shout and none of y'all dancing?
Yeah.
Y'all see where I'm going with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
My God. Go ahead.
All right. So what I want to do is I want to get back to the kitchen of this question because we spent the last probably 20 minutes talking about trying to find a good perspective of serve, but now we got to get to who determines in what way I serve. Let me shout out some watchers: Eric Charles, Mom Dale Sharp Lee, John Turner, Mainline Productions, my big brother Tremaine Dunlap, Trey Womack, Dr. Austin Woodland,
Doctor.
of course, Mrs. Brister,
Grandma
Courtney
D.
Gray, Lisa Smith, Nick Hill, Derek McLean, Cheryl Spinner Vaughn, Ramona Sharp, Carlos Pena, of course, Dave Bell, Marquise Shaw Cotman, Christian Hankerson. Thank you all for tuning in. Rob Williams Jr., thank you all again for tuning in. So now, who determines in what way I serve? I think the who is very easy. I think that's very easy. But that should also be communicated. So, if you are choosing to serve in a capacity, what do we do a lot of times? We just go to that area and, basically try to blend in, try to do the chameleon thing. And again, in my opinion, from a volunteer standpoint, there's not really much nuances to that. But when it comes to serve, particularly as we use the outline I mentioned, where what you do has been accredited outside the church to be professional, and now you're choosing in the confines of your church to use that capacity in a servant style. Okay, now it's okay. Let's have the conversation and let me define what I believe is my capacity to serve, and if that works for the collective, or how does it work for the collective and with everyone else involved in that area. But a lot of times it's just okay, you're good at this. Okay, yeah, talk to this person.
Wow.
That's where messes begin. And the best intentions were behind it.
Yeah.
The best intentions were behind that. But we didn't really kind of take our time and be a little more methodical with that approach. And here's an example of that. Pels, forgive me. An example of that is how many pastors are the ones, watch this, hiring and appointing each individual musician.
Wow.
Now, the best intentions are in mind.
Of course.
You know, let's just assume Pels, they got decent budget or whatever case, they want a 4-piece. But their approach is, okay, I gotta find the individual players myself. So what do, Pels? They look or ask for recommendations of people who play a particular instrument well. Because in their mind, if you play Hammond well, you play keyboard well, you play drums well, and you play bass well, then I put the 4 of y'all together and y'all gonna be a dope band. But we know that's not how it works.
Nope.
It's the NBA, right?
No.
Again, or it's the NFL.
Yes,
We
yeah.
Jerry,
Yeah.
right? We Jerry. We getting them boys, right? The problem with that is you got the budget, you put them boys, or shout out to female musicians, put them together, right? Now you drawn an attractiveness that if you can put it together, I can dismantle it.
Yeah.
Because if I got a better bag, or you want to play with Austin Woodland, I got Austin Woodland on my team. I always want to play with Austin. Well, there's a keyboard spot open. How much you getting paid? We pay more. Y'all ain't hear what I'm just saying, right? Oh, I always wanted to get closer. You talk about, wait a minute, you got so-and-so singing at your church? Yeah. And guess who else sing there too? Oh, for real? See, y'all see where I'm going? This stuff starts to turn into, because we're building basically a team, and it's not actually a ministry now. So again, that idea creates fans, not followers.
There you go.
Right there.
Lord have mercy. Because the people also have a following.
Yeah.
Right? So if the individual has a following, to Darien's point, this is why it's very troublesome when pastors feel like they have to be the person to get musicians and they don't know music. No, you're a part at that table because you are the leader at that particular house, right? And you can let that musician, these musicians would want to know, what is your vision? Where are you going? What's your flow? Do you hoop? Do you talk? Right? You know, do you shout to people 90% of the service? Like, I need to know those things because I can do them all. But here, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to sit here and do praise breaks all day. I want to learn something.
Yeah.
You know, do I have room to grow? Do I have to do everything that y'all say? Or can I do, you know, do I have room to push out my gift, right? Do I have room for it? Right? So again, to Darien's point, some pastors, I'll be looking at them like, look, y'all need to get with the people who are musical in the church, and or you need to tap. So respect to the pastors that have called me that say, hey, Pelzer, the church put it on me. I don't know music. I need your help. And then I recommend them to people like y'all. Shout out to my cousin Tremaine. Shout out to Austin Woodland. I send them to people that know. You see what I'm saying? And then it also has to work into what's going on in this house.
Yeah.
I know some pastors that they don't like not near a praise break. So, bro, why are you asking me about somebody that's very good at praise breaks?
Yeah.
That guy's going to be bored at your church.
There you go.
But because you got the bag, and if he's hungry enough and needs it, you're thinking about it, And now we got these messed up ministries and there's no cohesiveness. And then you also got the person that can't preach a lick, can't lead a lick, but they got the budget, they got the bag, and they got the best musicians in the world. And you got people that you think they're followers and they're just fans.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm coming to you, Jay. But yeah, you determine the way you serve. You determine what that looks like. But again, as we said, there's a volunteer function of the servant office or the servant capacity. So then that means that, okay, now you don't look at your serve solely from a business lens. You don't look at it from a business lens solely.
Yeah.
But you don't solely necessarily look at it from a volunteer lens. And we have that conversation up front about expectations.
Yeah.
Jay, you got any thoughts?
Yeah. So basically, to tap on what Pelzer was saying, I think it's interesting how you have pastors who are not qualified to hire musicians, and they simply feel that because they have the finances that it could be done, and they wonder why they lose musicians as quickly. And one of the issues of when they hire musicians, they don't realize that most musicians have their specialties. They have where they're strong. And
Yeah.
when you go to a doctor's office, you have certain doctors that are simply for the cardiologists. You have doctors that are oncologists. I believe that's the word.
Oncologist.
Podiatrists.
Yeah.
They have their certain elements.
They've all studied medicine, but
Right.
they have their area.
Right. So even though I can go to a podiatrist and say, listen, my heart don't sound right, they're going to send me to somebody, to a cardiologist. So as Pelzer said, well, what are you looking for? If you want to shout for 90 minutes in a church service, I'm going to send you to a guy that I know.
Yeah.
That's all he do. You don't do hymns, so it's not required
Can you hold
for
that?
him to play hymns.
Can you hold that thought?
I sure can. Yeah.
Pels, how
Yeah.
many times have you gotten this question? Hey man, what's the going rate for a bass player or drummer?
That is a bad question, y'all. That's a bad question, and I'm gonna tell some pastors why that's a bad question. What's the going rate for? Because that person, when they say that, they have now devalued the instruments.
Yep.
Right? They're not looking at the person behind the instruments. It's amazing, but here's the thing. If you were to show up and have, I'm just going to name two of my favorites, and not just two of my favorites. John Roberts, Brian Moore. If they came back to Philly and said, yo, I'm here, I'm going to play for your church, I'm automatically feeling the pressure. I got to get this guy at least $1,000 a Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're drummers. No disrespect to Jay, Darien, no disrespect to Tremaine, anybody, Austin Woodland. But in your brain, you like, I got to get this guy money. Why? Because they're MDs on the road, right? And I know that they're going to handle the music department as a whole. John's going to cuss out whoever ain't playing the material right, right? They're going to look for a certain level of excellency.
Yeah.
So when you say what's the going rate, you screwed it up because you're not looking at the organization or the value in the corner.
Right. At all.
It's not at all. So I'm gonna answer your question and get off, but that's the worst thing to do is to ask even down to the keyboardist at this point.
Yeah.
Because when I feel, this is how I help musicians because I've been a musician. When I know his pastors are saying like, yo, I got this guy, he want X, Y, and Z. If I know the person, I'm looking like, yeah, you lowballing them because that guy's gonna make sure that this is right, that's right, that's right. Then the next thing is, do you need all of that from them?
Yeah.
Because on the flip side, to that pastor's help, if they say, oh, we only got 300 in the budget, I'm like, yeah, if you only need them to do this, that, and the third, and you ain't asking them to do nothing else,
Yeah.
then I think that's fair. And if he come to me, I'll tell him,
Yeah.
but I'll be like, maybe that ain't what you need.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it. That's totally on you. I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to ask what the rate is, I used to be in that zone to think about, and here's how I'm gonna help everybody. Y'all can get mad with me if I say this. By default, if you just plop 50 to 100 people in a building and say, we're going to have church, you need keys in a sense, right? That if we want to argue a need, then you need rhythm. So that's why people by default put more of the budget at the keyboard and then the drummer and then the bass player and then the guitar player and then the something else player, right? It's not right, but that's why people do it based on the need. The reason why worship leaders are getting money now is because the pews have gotten lazy.
That's right.
I just said something. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's to your advantage because the church I grew up in, we ain't had no praise and worship team because everybody had a reason to praise God. I ain't trying to mess it up for y'all that get in the bag, but I'm just saying everybody had a reason to bless the Lord. And for me, playing wasn't necessary because old Deacon had the guitar. Fatine from Kindred, his grandfather was our deacon that played the guitar. Bloom, bloom, he would pluck the heck out of that and beat it, so we ain't need a drummer nor a keyboard player. And the whole church was singing, so they didn't need me to play. I felt so. All I'm trying to help us out with is let's stop putting the need for it. I would argue, I think we're at a place now that we're demanding the things that should be given. We've made ourselves needy towards it. And we're at this crux now. And we've created a corporate structure that we have now slaved ourselves to that creates all of these problems. And so now we have to build around, I don't know what the deliverance is, but we have to build around these problems at this point. And we have to, exactly, Nick, need versus value, right? So everything is value when you give it, but the tension now is the need. And with the need, that's where the tension comes in at. And this is where all the contract negotiation complaints, y'all don't see me, or I can't get this out of them, or they don't value my gift, and this, that, and the third. The reason why many of us are complaining about it because we have not found one place to serve that stops the complaint.
Wow.
Because if we got to keep hearing the complaint, that means that something either wrong on one of the two sides. Either churches across the board are the problem, or you the problem. Where the question would be, where would you find yourself doing it for nothing? Not saying don't do it for nothing. What's in you that says, whether you give me anything or not, I'm going to do it? I'm telling y'all, that is the liberty. I don't care if you're getting $1,000 bag, 500, 250. In your heart, you have to have, this is just what I do. Seriously. Seriously, this is just what I do.
So to
hope we ain't knock you off your thought.
I'm sorry, Jay.
You good, brother. So as Puzzle was saying, okay, you got the need versus value. So one of the reasons I believe that could be why your musician would leave, or you're trying to find someone so valiantly, you are trying to do that because you don't know what you need, number one. And number two, if you do know what you need, you're trying to get something or somebody based on just the fact that they can play, and you're not catering to your church's need. So when you look at it, right, there you go. So when you look at it,
we got the money, but they're like, nah, I'm cool, Reverend.
Right, and that's the thing. So when you look at it, if you are an apostolic ministry and you're shouting for 90 minutes, that's not for every musician, even though musicians can play shout music. That's not for everybody, because you got some cats out there that's specifically skilled in that area. But then you got the same musician that can't go into the Stout Baptist church where they do anthems. That's not who they are. They can't play that for you. Same cats. But yet, because you don't know what you need, you'll hire these guys, and based on their performance or lack of performance, you'll categorize them and say, oh, well, they're not good musicians. No, it's not that they're not good musicians. You didn't understand your ministry and what you needed for it, so you didn't go out and get it. There's certain cats that play anthems with pipe organs. So you need a cat like Austin who can go out there and you can put them on any pipe organ. But then you got cats that's wonderful at playing CCM. And I got a guy for you, Keegan Myers. I got a guy. Look, there are people and there are musicians that are amazing for certain ministries.
Correct.
Where they're strong at. And if you want them to stay, if you want them to be loyal to your ministry, then you have to make sure that when you hire them, they are accustomed to your type of service, because they'll be comfortable enough to be there and be loyal to you. Because at the end of the day, most of us, I can say, we love what we do, and we'll do it for free. It's not a thing of you have to pay us. We feed our families. Simple as that. Let's just be honest. But most of us will and have done it for free. So it's not a problem with getting us to do it. It's not a problem with getting us to be loyal. It's not a problem with getting us to stay. But if it don't match, it's like two left shoes. You can walk, but after a while, one of those feet gonna hurt.
Jay, here's the encouragement that I have. I thought about it because I get asked this question, and it helps me with y'all to unpack this. I was able to, and Tremaine can attest to this, we had the freedom to create and flow in our gift, right? So it wasn't like we play at church on Sunday and we can't add in a funky bass line. We were able to throw a bass line in on, I'm a soldier. We like, we could Jamaican that. We can go with whatever we wanted to, and we had the freedom to do it. The thing was, outside of that, this whole era that I was in called neo soul music. Shout out to Vidal, Dre, Carvin, Ivan, all of us, right? The Roots, different people, right? That neo soul was nothing but church music, right? Which means it was an extension both ways. So where I was at after I left the sanctuary, I didn't have to become a totally different person. A lot of us play at places where you have to be a different person. Like somebody said in here, the hymns, the anthems, the pipe organ, whatever. Austin's skilled in playing the pipe organ. But if you follow him from Enon to Buster Fields Church, you'll get the totality of Austin Woodland. That he's versatile enough to do that. Just like somebody that has the freedom in church, but you pocket yourself. My cousin Kenyon, you pocket yourself in a wedding band. Shout out to Jamel and the bands that play for them, where everything is top 10. Play it exactly like this specifically, because you got to play it with people from different cultures and whatever, and you have to follow the script. It's like somebody in a school band. Church should be the place where you have a level of freedom.
Should be.
And here's the thing. But then there's some churches that the culture of the congregation requires the hymn book. So when you go to that, you can't be mad because you don't have that freedom. Are you willing to, for the pay, to compartmentalize yourself into At this church, I just do this.
Yeah.
Some cats knew that the bag was at them Catholic churches. They was like, you can read, you can go get a $500 bag over there for a 1 hour service.
That's it.
1
Hey,
hour.
I knew some
If
cats
that.
was like, yo, I just came from a Catholic church. They like, yo, all I got is boring, but I'm just reciting something. So when you think about culturally, the place that you choose to be a part of and be compensated, where's the freedom?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because that does not stifle your life for if this is what you do on a daily basis. So you're able to continue to create. You're able to continue to flow, and you're not building your life around a compartmentalized space on Sundays.
Wow.
Yes, sir. All right, so our time is up for today. Let me shout out some more watchers. Molly Roberts, Jermaine Ringgold. I kept messing that up.
He's a Cowboys
mentally.
fan. He's a Cowboys fan.
I kept saying
We'll shout him out his
Draymond
offseason.
like he's Draymond Green. Jermaine Ringgold.
Jermaine,
DJ.
Man Naismith, Sheldon Walden,
Shell.
BJ Lewis, Malachi Holland. Thanks for stopping by. So in closing today, let me do this. Next week, we're looking at doing another evening edition next week. So we'll be coming at you in the night hour. And what we didn't get to do today, I really want to start to dig into, which is, having some financial conversations with the musician community,
Wow.
particularly in regards to, okay, you guys are telling us not to try to live off the church or not to try to make a living off of what we make in church. How do we approach that? So I want to start that conversation next week. Definitely want to start that conversation next week. I do want to I want to put a very interesting thought out that came from Mrs. Morris. Last week, we spent some time on a topic of church membership. And I think either the day before last week or 2 days before, Mrs. J. Morris had posted a very interesting question to her Facebook. And she said, why do I have to be a member of the church to serve? And what it got me thinking of is, it got me thinking that we seem to, correct me if I'm wrong, we seem to have a particular view of church membership as it pertains to most everything except funerals. We seem to have a specific view of the importance of church membership, with the exception, and I actually missed one thing, with the exception of salvation and funerals.
Oh, wow.
The importance seems to shift a little bit when we talk about church membership, about everything else, with the exception of salvation and when it's time to plan the funeral.
Wow. Yeah. You about to go into the hole, man. You about to put the lion's mouth again.
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering why that is. Example, at least I've heard that, salvation is not about church membership, which means it's not important to your soul matters. But as it pertains to the operation of the church, then it starts to carry a different level of importance.
Whoa, bro.
it's a conversation that many of us don't want to have outside of music. That's just in general. It's one of those ugly conversations.
It's an elephant.
Yeah, and this conversation, along with many that we're having, I think the overlapping theme is that we're moving away from the times where we just kind of accepted what we were taught for face value. Some things we were taught that it is what it is. But I think we're moving away from the it is what it is. Why is it?
Yeah. We want to know.
Yeah. Why? No, just because you said that's what it is, because your granddaddy said that's what it is, and his granddaddy said that's what it is and what it should be. No, why?
Right. That's the generation we have now. We want to know why.
Darien, you said something that I know we closing, but Darien said something that really made me think now, just in this moment. What's the going rate for? Right? When you think about the going rate for, it's amazing that we put a rate in without looking at the whole structure of a congregation. Like, the thing would be to say, what's the minimum size congregation to afford a 3-piece band? We have not even included, does that church want to stream?
Yep.
We have not included, are you doing dinners at the church, or do you need security depending on where you are? Right? You got people to do security that's risking their lives for the members.
Right. In them parking lots, yeah.
You know, they got a vest on.
Yep.
So, I mean, if they doing it for free, God bless them. Right? They don't even go inside the service because they're watching the cars. Like, they're doing it. So if they work for Target or something, they're getting paid with benefits and stuff. So I think overall, we don't even look at the concern of getting these church meetings back together.
Yep.
So we're very clear, like Darien said, we're not having the conversation. To be very clear. This is the reason why I won't just jump back into pastor, because I'm like, it's a lot of moving parts. My honesty on the table is I love music.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of entertainment piece that I'm like, yeah, I want you to feel good and have a great time. And I have the gift of participation to get people involved, where it's not all about me, but I want you to be satisfied. And if you can't get up out your seat, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
The band is going to know this is the reason why we do this. This is the intentional click track movement in this moment right here. This is intentional why sounds matter.
Yep.
And I'm open to the ideas because I'm helping you develop. I'm helping the singers develop. I want to know what you do outside of this. Do you sing outside of here, or you just sing in here? You know, what is the needs of the congregation? And then realistically, this is where we're going, but we ain't here yet. So we can't just plug and play because that's what they did across the street. Because if we really start looking at it like that, it's like, well, they got 8,000 members. So percentage wise, they can afford to pay you more. And you serving more customers. Golly. We are at a point, y'all, where conversations do matter, and we are addressing it. The reason why Tremaine's company, Darien Decibel Group, different ones matter, is because the speaking, because faith cometh by hearing. I've come to the reality that if the mics suck in the building, it is a problem. People do need to hear, and speakers need to articulate well. So yes, people need to up their. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. People need to up, need to up their things. And yes, we are in a streaming day and age, and nobody's going to sit there and look at the ministry on the phone if we got whack cameras.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different needs going on, man. Yep. Good Lord, I'm sorry. I
take us away, fellas.
He said, take us away. These fellas will be back next week, and it'll be the evening hour. Y'all might have to bring somebody to the table. Think about it. We're praying to bring somebody. You're welcome to come in here. So Nick said, get it off your chest, bro. No, I'm going to pause it and leave it alone. I'm excited. Listen, I don't want nobody to get me wrong. I'm excited for where things are going, but that recalibration is Wait, what about when the membership size has nothing to do with what the church can afford? Got you. Some churches have other business incomes. I played at one church. That's good, Robert. I like what you said there because, yes, it does level the playing field and it kind of makes it more of a union thing. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother thing. You know what's funny? Y'all don't have a union.
Not in the city. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Like when we did our production, it didn't matter if it was Jazzy Jeff Studio, Puffy Studio, whatever. Mm-hmm. There was a single, double, triple scale.
Yeah.
That you just put in. Now, we always just said, anybody that come play for us, especially church musicians, we just be like, give them triple scale. They're like, they only play the tambourine. Yeah, give them triple scale. Yeah. That's what we did because we had the control to do that in the good budgets back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think that churches actually need it. And that, to me, here's the thought, will knock out all the shenanigans on both sides.
At least a majority of it.
Mm-hmm. Right, because there are small churches that you can get grants and stuff to where we don't have to lowball somebody.
Absolutely.
And the person will feel comfortable in executing their full gift and not be worried about, well, you only had 10 people show up this week. Yep. So I'm on edge because I don't know if y'all going to be able to pay me and we got to post their checks. No, we got union and we got backup and stuff set up. Yep. You know what I mean? And then we don't overdo it or underdo it.
Correct.
We're going somewhere with this. We're going somewhere with this.
Absolutely.
I like it.
This is exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. All right, so Darien said take it away. I'm done. Y'all got last words? Jay, don't forget, check out Jay with his meditations. Yeah. All right. Go to his page, check his YouTube
Volume
4.
Volume 4.
Yeah.
So jump on it, support it.
Yeah.
All right. Listen to it while you chilling. Yep. Get some prayer life with it. Yep.
Yes,
going on. You fellas straight? Y'all good, right?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. All right. Y'all got any other questions? Just inbox these Negroes in.
We'll bring it to the table.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all. We'll holler. We going out on this.
Got my joy, back my joy. I've got my joy. Been restored.
Sing song.
I've been restored. Got my joy, back my joy. I've got my joy. Been restored.
Love you too, Mom.
Yeah, man, love you.
I keep hitting the wrong buttons. It's that one. I'm like, which button am I supposed to be hitting? Jack it up. You know that's Juan on the vocals right there, right? Yep. I ain't Juan can sing. Sing, Juan. Here you go. That song his husband. Down in them Texas streets.
Don't let them take your joy. Don't let them take your joy. He's waiting to give you joy. This joy I have, the world just gives to me. Oh, this joy I have, the world just
What is that?
gives to me. Oh, this joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it away.
Troy Chambers on the keys.
I've got my joy.
You better get the joy.
The ignorance of Troy Chambers. Here we go.
Who was this? Who's singing?
That's Juan and Sonia.
Yes, sir.